Good morning.
Good morning.
It is a beautiful day to be in Paulding County and announcing a milestone in the development of the Richland Creek Reservoir. Since the community voted to purchase land and initiate development of the reservoir to provide a self-sufficient water supply, the county has been working to fulfill this mission. My name is Lori Ashmore, and I'm director of the Paulding County Water System, and I will be your MC. First, I would like to recognize some of the people who have joined us here today. Let us take a moment to recognize Frank Redmond with U.S. Senator Johnny Isakson's office. Congressman Tom Graves. Representative Howard Maxwell. Paulding County Commission Chairman David Austin. Post 2 Commissioner Todd Parnell. Post 4 Commissioner Tony Crow. Sheriff Gary Gullidge. Mayor of Dallas Boyd Austin. And Mayor Austin also serves as chairman of the Georgia Environmental Finance Authority, as well as the North Georgia Water Planning District. We have Dallas City Councilman Jim Henson, Mayor of Hiram Doris Devi, Mayor Pro Tem for Hiram Kathy Bookout. I'd also like to recognize all of the former Paulding County commissioners who are here with us today. If you could raise your hand and be recognized. And also a very special group of people. If I could have all of the current and former Paulding County Water and Sewer Advisory Board members raise their hand. Thank you all for being here. Our next speaker is Representative Howard Maxwell. Representative Maxwell has served as a member of the Georgia House of Representatives since 2003. While he was born in Douglasville, he grew up here in Paulding County and has been a resident of Dallas, Georgia since 1958. Representative Maxwell earned a degree in accounting from Georgia State University. He has served in several leadership positions in the House, including chairman of the Retirement Committee and chairman of the Information and Audits Committee. He's currently serving as chairman of the Regulated Industries Committee and is a member of the Education, Retirement, and Insurance Committees and the Education Subcommittee to Appropriations. Representative Maxwell has been honored numerous times for his legislative service. Before being elected to District 17, to represent District 17, he served as chairman of the Paulding County School Board for 5 years and as vice chairman for 4, and has a 10-year involvement in the Georgia School Board Workers' Compensation Fund, including 5 years as their chairman. Representative Maxwell has been an active part of several community and civic organizations, including the Dallas Rotary Club, Wellstar Paulding Hospital Board, the Georgia Association of Insurance Agents and Financial Advisors, the American Legislators Exchange Council, Leadership Paulding 20, and the Paulding County Chamber of Commerce. Representative Maxwell served in the U.S. Army and did a tour of duty in Vietnam from 1969 to 1970. He has been with Allstate Insurance since 1977 and has owned and operated the Howard Maxwell Agency in Cartersville since 1984. He is blessed with 2 grown children and 4 grandchildren, spending as much time as possible with them. Outside of his legislative and professional activities, he's a member of Macklin Baptist Church in Powder Springs, and his leisure activities include traveling, hunting, and motorcycling. Please welcome Representative Howard Maxwell.
Thank you. All right. That was very sweet, Ms. Laurie. Thank you. Like Lauren, I don't know where all that comes from, but thank y'all for allowing me to come out today. This is a beautiful day, a great crowd. I appreciate the opportunity to come out and just be a small part of it. I was sitting there, I was asking the preacher, my mind sort of went blank, and I said, "Preacher, isn't it over in Proverbs where it says, without a vision, the people perish?" He said, "Yeah," and he's like me, he can't remember the chapter and verse at this time, but I was sitting there thinking about that this is a time for us to recognize the vision that somebody had back years ago, and as Lauren mentioned, the other things around us here, what we see in the county. It's a lot different than what it was when I got here in 1958. I was telling Laurie, I remember the little water system up in Dallas. I don't know what we had, about 1,000 people maybe in the city of Dallas back in this little water building over on Foster Avenue, little 2-story building where they pump water in. And I remember a good friend of mine's daddy, Mr. Palmer, Arthur Palmer, worked over there, and he'd go over and check the water, pour in chlorine or whatever they had to put in at that time to purify it, and took care of the citizens of Dallas back then. Well, that little place wouldn't run this county now. Of course, we've seen that down through the years. But I just want to say I'm very, very thankful for the folks that's come before us that had a real vision for what Paulding County was going to need. We got to have people like that, and for the commissioners, those that are sitting out here, the others that came before them, working to ensure that the people that came into Paulding County was going to have their needs met. And I was sitting there thinking about that verse, without a vision, the people perish. Well, without water, you're going to perish. You can live a while without food, but you ain't going to live long without water. We got to have that. That's God gave that to us, when He created this world, and that's a necessity for the human life. And I am so thankful for the people that's come on. This reservoir is going to do a lot for the county. Some of it's already been mentioned. It's going to help us become self-sufficient in our water needs. As Lauren mentioned, the people that come into the county looking to put businesses here, first thing they ask about, water. You know, where you get your water. It was good stewardship on the county's part, and the people that had the vision to do this, to make the plans for this to go forward. It's been a long endeavor. I thank everybody here that's done it. I thank the governor for putting money in a budget for reservoirs to be built throughout the state. I'm glad that he recognized the need. But I'm just thankful to be here, thankful this day has finally arrived. It's been a long, hard battle working to get the permit. Lord God, the prayers and the work and the trips, going to talk to folks to get that done was a lot of time and effort put into it. But thank you very much. Thank all of you for being here, and I appreciate you letting me serve this county. God bless you.
Thank you.
I have the pleasure of introducing our chairman, David Austin, who took office as chairman of the Paulding County Board of Commissioners in January 2009. He's a graduate of Dallas High School and West Georgia College, where he earned his degree in marketing and management. Chairman Austin spent 30 years in corporate management and sales and is a small business owner prior to being elected as chairman. He's a member of the board of directors of the Paulding County Chamber of Commerce, the Hospital Authority of Paulding County, and Wellstar Paulding Regional Health Board, the Paulding County Airport Authority, the Paulding County Industrial Building Authority, and the Cobb Marietta Water Authority, where he serves as chairman of the Finance Committee. He's also chairman of Northwest Georgia Regional Commission and serves on the ACCG Board of Managers and the Georgia Student Finance Commission, which services the Hope Scholarship Program. Chairman Austin has received the Silver Award of Excellence for lifelong learning from ACCG. Chairman Austin's a sixth-generation resident of Paulding County. He's the son of the late Mr. and Mrs. Boyd L. Austin Sr., and he's been married to the former Jane Abney for more than 44 years, and they reside in the New Hope community. They have one daughter, J.D., who is married to Chris Smith, and two children, Abney and Austin Smith. He is an active member of the Dallas First United Methodist Church. Chairman Austin has worked tirelessly since taking office to reach the milestone that brings us here today. Please welcome Paulding County Chairman David Austin.
Wow, 16 years and 5 minutes. The 5 minutes is all it took to sign the permit. And I said to them, is this it? Y'all don't need any blood? There's no bands playing? But it's a pretty amazing day to get here. There's a lot of people to thank for this momentous day, a day that will serve our generations and generations to come. There are many people to thank, and I know I'm going to leave somebody out and hurt somebody's feelings, and I apologize. The first person I'd like to thank is the person that started this process, and that's Bill Carew. Bill couldn't be with us today, but he prepared a statement, and he asked me to read it. Bill says, I apologize for being out of town, but appreciate the opportunity to be a part of this great day for the people of Paulding County. Let me start by saying I'm honored to have been both a part of the beginning of the Richland Creek Reservoir and of this very important milestone in the process of finishing this significant project we are recognizing today. Serving as a post commissioner prior to becoming chairman, I became aware that Paulding County was unique in the way that wasn't good and I felt needed addressing. We're one of the only counties in Georgia that was solely dependent on another county government entity for 100% of our water. We had no other source for water than a long-term contract with Cobb Mirror Water Authority. Although we had a good relationship, Glenn, with Cobb Mirror, and we still do, this concerned me very much. I met with Georgia EPD Director Harold Reheis, and he assured me that my concerns were beyond valid. I asked him for his help, and we began the process. Through a series of meetings with staff and legislators, post-commissioners, the Georgia EPD suggested that we build a reservoir and that where we should put it and how it should work. After a series of public information meetings and input meetings, the BOC unanimously voted to place a $3 million general obligation bond issue on the ballot to purchase the land. It passed by an overwhelming margin. The experience of the beginning of this reservoir process and having served over 11 years on the Georgia Department of Natural Resources assured me of one thing: water is the most important, precious commodity. In a city, county, or state's most valuable natural resource, there are many reasons for this and beyond. One of these is Paulding County's need for jobs. New and relocating industries demand access to markets, an educated workforce, and infrastructure such as a safe and abundant water, reliable power, and good roads. With the Richland Creek Reservoir, the county will be able to compete and attract industry. The state now has a partner in Paulding County which will serve as a water source for the next drought, and most importantly, we will have independence and ability to manage our own water. 16 years is a long way to get to this point. 90% of the ridiculous amount of time that has been taken is due to the federal environmental laws, who under the current administration in Washington gets worse every day. If this continues, public work projects in the United States will never be able to be built at the pace we're needed to satisfy the demands of the people. I would be remiss if I didn't point out one person in a group who worked tirelessly to get to this point, and I'm embarrassed to read this part. David Austin began pushing this project between being elected and being sworn in, and he, along with a great staff, continued pushing until the 404 permit was in the hands just a few days ago, they deserve to be commended. Leadership is not a position or title. It is acting with educated information. In 1999, Paulding County Commission acted, and I'm honored to be associated with the leaders who made that possible. Additionally, I stand with managers, engineers, scientists, lawyers, and political leaders who made this 16-year journey a success. To say thanks, and let's go build the Richland Creek Reservoir, and that is from Bill Carew. Next, I'd like to thank Jerry Sharon and all the post commissioners, past and present, for continuing this process. Many staff worked tirelessly for this permit, but no one more than former County Administrator Mike Jones and former Water Systems Director Michael Carter. No words can measure my appreciation. Thank you and each and every member of the Water Authority, Water Sewer Advisory Committee, Jim Smith, its chairman, both present and past, but no one effort into this permit than former Commissioner David Barnett, who flew with me and went on several trips to the Corps of Engineers in Savannah. You cannot complete a 404 permit without a first-class legal team, which is comprised of Lonnie Skipper, Jason Phillips, Tom Cable, and Glenn Richardson, who at the time he served in the legislature helped get us a seat at the table on the Cobb-Merida Water Authority. And speaking of the Cobb-Merida Water Authority, what an honor it's been to serve with a first-class organization with the leadership of Glenn Page, even though he has on an ugly Clemson orange shirt today. Glenn also helped me with this process. There's some mistakes that were made with the Hickory Log Creek, and he wanted to ensure that we didn't make those same mistakes. But for me, it's been an education, Glenn, and thank you. Thank you to the law firm. McKing and Spalding played a huge role in the finalization of this process through the efforts of Lewis Jones, one of the partners, and his relationship with Judd Turner, who is the EPD director, also known as the Water Czar. Judd also made many trips with us to Savannah to convince the Corps that Richland Creek was not only good for Paulding County, but good for our whole northwest Georgia region. You cannot build a reservoir or expect a 404 permit without proper financing. I'd like to thank Boyd Austin, my brother, for his valuable leadership in the county and serving the North Georgia Metropolitan Water Board and chairing the GEFA board, where over half of our financing was made possible. Speaking of the GEFA board, I cannot thank Kevin Clark enough and the GEFA board staff and board for their concerned effort to help Paulding County build the Richland Creek Reservoir. Mayor Davey, thank you for your encouraging words and your leadership in Hiram to help bring this fabulous day to fruition. We're fortunate to have a great professional water team. I know I'll leave somebody else, but Lori Ashmore, our water director, is one of the most respected water professionals in the entire Southeast. Lori, thank you. We have Brown and Caldwell. Kelly and Mark are both here. Thank you all for a fabulous job. They're a program manager. Ron Harris, the sun is beating right off the top of your head, Ron. Our consultant, Arcadis, our engineer, Lewis Jones, our attorney, Rick Whiteside for the wetlands, and Bucky Kimsey for bonding. Bucky, you have the same honors, this glare off the... And I want to thank Governor Deal. Governor Deal has personally been involved in this process ever since he was a congressman and then as governor. I admire Governor Deal's leadership and thank him immensely for the $15 million that will not need to be repaid out of the governor's water supply program. Let's give a hand to our governor. Thank you to Johnny Isaacson. It's nice when you walk in a room and they know you're from Paulding County and they know what your needs are. We couldn't have done this without you, Frank, and all your background in the environmental issues, so thank you very much. I want to thank Senator David Perdue, working with the Corps of Engineers and EPA to bring this day to fruition. Thank you to our Congressman Phil Gingrey and Congressman Tom Graves for putting this as one of your top priorities for our entire region. Thank you to my staff, and especially Pat Tibbetts and her skills as being our Paulding County Clerk. Thank you. Now, the most important person here today that I'd like to thank is my wife, Jane. Jane's encouragement and her prayers have gotten me through the last 6.5 years. She's my partner for life. I feel like one of the luckiest men on earth to have my daughter here, JD, today, and the support of her husband, Chris, and my two fabulous grandchildren, Abney and Austin. They understand this process, and they ask questions about it, and they know what it means. They're 6 and 12. In this process, I give God all the glory. I'd like to say thank you very much for giving me this honor to serve you, and I think we'll leave a legacy in having the Richland Creek Reservoir for generations to come. Now, I'd like to welcome our Congressman Tom Graves from the 4th District to finish up our comments. Congressman Graves.
Chairman, congratulations. This is an exciting day. It really is, and I guess it's more exciting because we're getting closer to some signing over here, I see. And let me just say, this is a tremendous milestone, and it wouldn't have been possible without so much help for so many years. And Lori, thank you for your many efforts, and it's great to hear the history and the heritage from Lauren previously. But it's an honor to represent you. It's an honor to represent Paulding County. There's so much incredible talent and desire and passion and vision. And receiving this permit that has just been received today for the reservoir is a tremendous milestone, not only for this local community, but for the state of Georgia, quite frankly. It's a great example of what happens when everybody works together, when it's about just getting the job done and everybody stays in their lane and they work together collaboratively to make sure that the goal is accomplished. And I can recall several meetings, several phone calls, a lot of discussions over the last couple of years revolving around this project, and it's been a pleasure to be a part of it. It hasn't been easy at all. It's been a tremendous effort by everybody, but to be able to work with the Corps of Engineers and their process is deliberative. It's very difficult, but you had a professional team here that shows us that it can be done when you stick to it and your focus is to get the job done for the best interest of your community. And as has been mentioned previously about those that have participated in this for years, I'm reminded of the saying that great communities are built by leaders who stand on the shoulders of giants who have come before them. And this is a great example of that. And you've heard many names and many appreciations that have been given today. And I know many are here in the crowd. And Jerry Sharon, great vision. Thank you. I served with Glenn Richardson as Howard has as well. He had a great passion and vision previously regarding this project when we were in the State House. I think about Phil Gingrey, my predecessor here in Paulding County. He was adamant about passing that baton on. And then, of course, Senator Perdue and Senator Isaacson have been right there with us the entire process. And then it wouldn't go without saying Saxby Chambliss, who has been a great leader in our state and for this community as well, had a great passion. But Chairman, I commend you. You've been extremely diligent, and I tell you, you've got a great fighter and great worker for the county and the community here. and he oftentimes is calling me and texting me. Many times words of encouragement, many times other kind of words, and but they're always received with a willingness to want to help out and be a part of what's going on here. So this reservoir stretches far beyond Paulding County and its impact. Ultimately, it's a powerful impact on this entire region and on the entire state. And I'll close by saying this. I think it's so important as we look at projects like this, as we look at where we are as a state and as a country, we must know that healthy communities are going to provide for a healthy economy, which ultimately provides for a healthy state. And that's what the focus has been. And as I've heard here today, I'm so inspired knowing that we're building upon heritage, which has been built upon a vision, but has been combined with so much hard work, and that's the great success of Paulding County. So congratulations. I'm delighted to be a part of it today.
Thank you, Congressman Graves. At this time, the Board of Commissioners has a proclamation recognizing the efforts to secure the 404 permit and implement the Richland Creek Reservoir program. We're supplying water for today and tomorrow. The commissioners will be joined by two young people looking to the future, Lydia Kenny and Sharday Ferguson. Lydia Kenny has been recognized by the Metropolitan North Georgia Water Planning District for her entry in the 2014 Water Essay Contest. She's a student at Dobbins Middle School. Sharday Ferguson's artwork is included in our 2015 Water Smart Art Calendar that we participate in with Cobb County. Sharday is also a student at Dobbins Middle School. So at this time, Chairman, if...
Will y'all come up and join us? Folks, here's your future. You guys come up here and stand with me. Whereas the Cobb County Water Authority currently provides Paulding County and the majority of its drinking water for Lake Allatoona. Whereas the water provided to Paulding County for Lake Allatoona is not guaranteed in sufficient amounts in the future. Whereas the vision of developing a reservoir as an independent source of drinking water was proposed to Paulding County voters in 1999 and approved by an overwhelming majority of the voters, 70%. Whereas the Paulding County has been working since 1999 to provide for development of the Richland Creek Reservoir, included identifying site requirements, acquiring 700 acres of land in northern Paulding County, initiating design of various infrastructure components, including a raw water intake, pump station, raw water pipeline, and a new treatment plant, and the distribution system improvements. Preparing a financial analysis to determine the most physically responsible approach, developing a public communication strategy, and securing a program manager to manage through the design, construction, and implementation. Whereas the RCR is intended to develop into a 350-acre reservoir that receives water from the Etowah River and stores over 3 billion gallons of water to supply existing and future Paulding County customers. Whereas the RCR will only be filled with water when there is excess water in the Etowah River and will not deplete minimum flows required by law. Whereas the RCR is one of the 4 new reservoir projects being funded by Georgia Environmental Finance Authority, thank you, GEFA's Governor's Water Supply Program, and funding the development of the RCR associated infrastructure will be obtained through a combination of state direct investment, low interest loans provided by GEFA and utility bonds. Whereas the federal 404 permit allowing construction of the RCR was issued to Paulding County on October 9, 2015. Now, therefore be it resolved that the Board of Commissioners of Paulding County does hereby recognize and commend the efforts to secure a 404 permit to build the Richland Creek Reservoir and implement the Richland Creek Reservoir program that includes the development of a reservoir, raw water intake, pump station, raw water pipeline, a new treatment plant, and distribution system improvements to establish a reliable drinking water source for residential and commercial customers in Paulding County for today and tomorrow. Thank you, and may God bless.